Thank you so much for joining us this morning for the annual PTRM workshop. PTRM is really at the heart of shared governance, and so when we meet on these occasions, I consider this to be perhaps one of the most important gatherings that we have, because it really is a way of ensuring that shared governance needs are met. Today's discussions really are a vital part, a vital aspect of the process of trying to continue to improve our PTRM processes. You all know, I think, that there's been a group that has been reviewing the art policy, and I will introduce those folks in just a minute and thank them for the great work they're doing on the institution's behalf. But we do need to be thinking about how shared governance will continue to work moving forward, the pressures on institutions of higher education to reduce the numbers of tenure-track faculty and to go more to contract faculty and adjunct faculty is something that we need to take very seriously here, and it's something that I hope you will help us think about. The second feature of today that I want you to think about is that personnel decisions that we make during PTRM are just the most important decisions that we make as an institution. Well, maybe they're the second most important decision we make as an institution. The first is hiring people. Because if we don't hire the right people, we're not going to be in a position to make the right decisions down the road. So these decisions have enormous import for the institution going forward. I think I've said before that I see promotion as a shared faculty and an administrative decision. I see tenure as a shared faculty, administrative, and financial decision. And when we're investing somewhere north of $1.5 million in an individual when we tenure them, these are very important decisions that we have to make. So thank you for being here today. Please know how seriously I take this and how important I think this is. You can see what we're expecting to do today. I hope that by noon we'll have achieved all of those things. We'll see. I hope that the discussions are such that, in fact, you won't want to stop talking at noon and we'll have to kick you out, but we'll see how that goes. Can I just ask the members of the University PTRM committee to stand up so you know who you can throw things at later? Thank you all for your efforts. Much appreciated. And any members of the Art Review and Revision Committee who are here, would they please stand? They have done stellar work on your behalf. That work needs to continue, but they really have done great work. And there's some questions that they have for you that we'll talk about later on in the session here today. So, what's the goal of the faculty evaluation process? What are we trying to achieve? And I'm going to let you read, since I know that you do that better than I speak. But according to the ART, the goal of the PTRM process is evaluative. But I also want to argue that it's an opportunity for faculty development as well. This annual workshop actually allows us to pause and reflect on those processes and look for ways to enhance the clarity of this process. We're doing it through a review of the document, but I also think there's a great opportunity here to continue to clarify our thinking on this. This year, I want to focus on those folks who are helping review that document, the art document, and so we will ask you to help us with some of that as we go on. This is what the policy currently says. So I'd like you to think about whether today is simply just another example of the ways in which we provide resources to you to help in this process. I also hope that perhaps we might think of it as a way in which you can help us think about how we might develop more resources to help in this process. So we will also be asking you about that, because I think it's both. I think we both need to think about what we're currently doing, but we need to think about whether or not we should be doing more. Okay, so let's just talk about this year's results, so to speak. 4 categories I want to talk about. Tenure and promotion to associate professor, promotion to full professor, our librarians' promotions, and then 5-year reviews. And let's summarize the cycle very quickly for you, just so you know. I think those are great results. It always interests me when I hear from faculty and from chairs and from deans that there's a concern that we keep raising the standards, we keep moving the goalposts on this. I hope this suggests that even if we are, it doesn't matter a damn. Please understand that this is 100% of those people, not that we took in, not that we hired, but that who went up for promotion and tenure. And I think one of the reasons that these figures say 100% is that because we are doing a better job, particularly at the 3rd-year review stage, where we have counseled some folks out and said, I'm not sure this is the best fit for you, which means that when we do get to this point, 100% is not surprising. I find that very, very heartwarming that we've helped folks before they get to this very difficult hurdle. So 100%, 29 of 29 and 1 of 1 on the tenure front. So just think about $1.5 million for each of those, times 30. Quite a lot of money. For full, 1 person withdrew during the course of the process. 20 out of 24 were promoted. And for those who weren't, I think in every case, bar 1, I can say that these were people who put their names forward at the earliest possible stage that they could. Time in rank is something that matters, but I also hope we'll encourage our faculty colleagues to think about that that's a necessary but not a sufficient condition for promotion. I also understand that financially it's very beneficial to be promoted, and when our salaries are not perhaps what we'd like them to be, it is tempting to go up as soon as you can in order that you can be financially better off. And over the course of a 20 or 25-year career, getting that promotion a year or 2 years earlier has a long arc. So I get it, but I also would like to think that it was more than just, I've been in rank for 5 years, I'm ready to go up. And I would encourage you to think about talking with your colleagues about really being ready, not just having met the minimum time criteria. On the librarian front, more great work. All of these things suggest to me that we're doing a good job in terms of mentoring and enabling our colleagues to be successful, both the librarians and our tenure track faculty. This to me says that we've got a strong system and it's working well. Doesn't mean to say it can't be better, but I think it's working well. And on 5-year reviews, 91%, 67 out of 74 were accepted as is. We asked 4%, 3 people, to resubmit, mostly because they perhaps hadn't outlined as clearly as we would like their goals going forward. They did a great job of telling us what they'd done over the past 5 years, but there's another piece in there that says, and what will you be doing going forward? So that when we come to look back at the next 5-year review, we have something against which to assess your progress. And 3 folks have done that very happily. There were 4 people out of 74 who need a little help. Pretty small number. So, I'm going to get down out of here. I have nothing else to say to you. I'm going to ask Mary Lashley if she would come and talk to us in her dulcet tones about an academic update on this art document review. Mary, please, thanks.